Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for the people who stayed and listened last week. I hope you stay and listen this week, and don't forget to like, comment, share with your friends, and subscribe for more videos. Okay, you guys, so this week I did a lot. As you'll see, this week was the week that I cut my husband's hair, and on those Sundays I change the sheets, I change the towels, I just do a whole clean of the house. And it just so happened that like I said last week, my toddler was sick. So this is a video from last week where I kind of just scrub everything down that she's touched where she slept. I just kind of go through and disinfect things because we don't want to get sick again, because she's playing with things and putting them in her mouth that she put in her mouth when she was sick. So yeah, that's kind of what today is. And so what I'm gonna talk about today is I kind of have a story for y'all, kind of just what I've been feeling, and where I'm at with some things. So I grew up in a house where we had music or the TV on all the time. There was something always giving us background noise, and eventually I would fall asleep with the TV on and sleep all night like that. And like most people, I would wake up to George Lopez coming on at 3 a.m., waking me up to All My Friends Know the Low Rider. Don't judge me for that one. You turn over and go right back to sleep. So naturally, that's what I did as an adult too. And so for years, I would have the music on, TV for my daughter, and possibly something on my iPad too, and not thinking anything of it. Then realizing just how overstimulated I am and how easily I snap because something else goes off and makes a noise, but I have to have the noise. It feels weird without it, right? There are so many thoughts in my head and they won't stop. They're so loud all of the time. So I turn the music on and I turn the TV back on, and it tunes them out and it makes them go a little bit quieter. And then I'm left wondering why I can't hear God. Is He answering me? Telling myself that I am listening, that I can hear Him since it's quieter in my mind. And I'm waiting for His response. But wait, I also have these kids who are just being kids, and I feel so overstimulated and overwhelmed with all the noise going on at once. The music, TV, iPad, running, screaming, laughing, crying. It's all too loud. I find joy in my girls laughing and playing. It is music to my ears. So for the past few weeks, I've turned the TV and music off. As weird as it is, it's more peaceful. I find myself reaching for my iPad to turn something on in the silence, but tell myself no and walk away. And then I pray and ask God, what lesson is this for me? And He reminds me of how Jesus would get away from the crowds to go pray to God and listen for Him to answer. And in Mark chapter 1, verse 35, it says, "Before daybreak the next morning, Jesus got up and went out to an isolated place to pray." Matthew 14:23 says, "After sending them home, He went up to the hills by Himself to pray. Night fell while He was still there alone." So I think that is kind of hinting at us just how long He was there praying and listening to God speak. So in this silence, I'm listening and He's revealing things to me. We're all overstimulated and overwhelmed because we've all got this background noise going on all the time, phones in our hands at all times, and a never-ending checklist, so forth and so forth. The silence in our own thoughts have become so uncomfortable to us to the point that we drown God out with the rest of the noise and simply don't pay Him the attention He not only deserves, but desires from us. Our great plus grandparents heard Him better and more than us because they didn't have all this noise distracting them. Think about it. They used to just sit outside in the evenings to just listen to the wind, silence, rain, thunder. In Job chapter 37, verses 2 through 5, it says, "Listen carefully to the thunder of God's voice as it rolls from his mouth. It rolls across the heavens, and his lightning flashes in every direction. Then comes the roaring of the thunder, the tremendous voice of his majesty. He does not restrain it when he speaks. God's voice is glorious in the thunder. We can't even imagine the greatness of his power." And maybe that's why we love and fear thunder and lightning at the same time. In doing some research, I came across this article that I'll leave in the link in my description. In reading the article, it solidified some things that I've been feeling and thinking, like about our constant stream of thoughts. In our life group last week, we were told a story of a guy who used to walk around our town talking to God all the time. You would have thought he was crazy or talking to himself, when really he was just in constant contact talking to God. He'd stop mid-conversation with you and say something to God. And I think that just says a lot about how close he was with God, just to be able to just stop and talk to him. But in the article, it brings to light some of the reasons that these constant thoughts are, so we can bring them to God and talk to him about what's on our mind. And I know he doesn't already know, but that's not the point. The little things that are on our mind for a reason, and he desires for you to talk to him about it all. So within the last week, I found myself walking around talking to God about these thoughts in my head. My mind feels quieter, and I feel at peace with so many things, the big and the small. So if you feel overstimulated and overwhelmed, like God isn't answering, look around and see what you can turn off and enjoy the silence. You never know what you may hear. Y'all, right here I'm rolling up my pants thinking I'm gonna be smart. I was not. I still got soaked from the waist down, and I had to go change my pants. By the way, leave a comment down below and tell me, do y'all rinse y'all's dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, or do you put them in the dishwasher dirty? Because it's an ongoing thing between me and my husband, who thinks that he doesn't have to rinse them off before putting them in there, but then I just have to get them out, rinse them off, and put them back in the dishwasher to wash them again because they don't come clean. Do y'all do that or no? By the way, this whole time I thought that y'all could see our island and could see that I was cleaning it, but I was sadly mistaken. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening. If you stayed this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, whoever, family. I did vacuum, but my video cut short and my phone died. So thanks for staying and listening and watching. See y'all next week. Bye.